Lao Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash. This is the brother Sagala once again coming back with another lesson. I'm gonna do a lesson based upon this news report. It's a family of 5 murdered by Texas prison bus escapee. I want to issue a fair usage warning. This is not for any type of monetary gain, but this is for edification and teaching purposes. So I'm going to start this video. Then I'm going to chime in with a few scriptures, and then it's going to be done.
The crime is unspeakable. A grandfather and his 4 grandsons slain shortly after they arrived at their vacation cabin for what they thought would be a wonderful weekend of family fun. The killer, a convict who was on the run after escaping from a prison bus. Now, hard questions are being asked. Was enough warning given, alerting people that the convict could be in the area?
Bye, thanks.
It's an unimaginable tragedy, the murder of 4 youngsters and their grandfather. The Collins brothers, 16-year-old Carson, 11-year-old Hudson, and 18-year-old Waylon loved baseball, and heartbroken friends gathered around the pitcher's mound at their school in Tomball, Texas, to grapple with the devastating loss. The brothers were celebrating the start of summer with their cousin Bryson and grandfather Mark at their family vacation cabin, where there were ponds for fishing and woods for hunting. Cops say all 5 family members were murdered by a convicted killer who had escaped from a prison bus.
Just such a tragic story, a terrible thing.
This cell phone video captures the moment when the inmate crashed the bus and fled into the woods weeks ago.
There we go.
I spoke to Melanie Tieperman, whose 11-year-old son filmed the dramatic escape.
I did not realize the danger that this man actually posed to all of us.
Gonzalo Artemio Lopez was serving a life sentence for killing a man with a pickaxe. He was on a prison bus like this one, being driven to a medical appointment when he broke free from his restraints, stabbed the driver, and took off on foot.
He's in the woods.
Gonzalo Artemio Lopez, if I'm saying it correctly, okay? Now, if you people didn't know that, you Latinos actually come from the seed of Jacob, okay? When we're talking about the 10 lost tribes of Israel, Latinos will fall in that category. We're talking about coming from the seed of the Father. So there's a very good likelihood that even though that this so-called Latino, Mexican, whatever he may be, there's a good chance that he can stem from being one, his forefather could be Jacob, okay? So, but the whole point is, let me get this precept, Sirach 39, because you had a family that was going on a vacation. They were going to their vacation home. So what is the chances that that same weekend that a prisoner would escape from a prison bus and then they would be murdered? All 5 of the whole family would be murdered, okay? Okay, Sirach 39. Also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus. This is an apocryphal book. And if you get a 1611 edition of the King James Version, the Apocrypha is already included. So let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 39. Let's go to verse 28. Because we just talking about the likelihood of going on a vacation and then getting killed. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Therefore, from the beginning I was resolved and thought upon these things, and have left them in writing. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. So a lot of people, when people die, they say, he died before it was his time. She died before it was their time. No. For every, how we read in verse 33, all the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. So when it's time for you to go, it's just time for you to go. Now, it's a tragic thing, but it also talk about punishing the wicked. So because the Lord also created a race of people in the earth to be the wicked. And we talking about the so-called white man. But it has nothing to do with skin color, but it has everything to do with the race of people that you are, or the race of people that you stem from. So let's get Malachi, the first chapter. And I just want to point out to you who the wicked are. Because these people were actually going on a vacation to their a vacation house. And we understand how a lot of these so-called white people gained their power and their foothold, you know, in being able to afford a lot of these things. And that has been off the back of the so-called Israelite man and woman, okay, through the stealing of lands, I'm sorry, let's get Malachi chapter 1. Malachi chapter 1. Let's go. So let's start at verse 3. Let's start at verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So the Lord hath already done that to Esau, but then Esau builded his, he builded back up in order for these last times, in which the Lord is going to throw the so-called white man back down, and he's going to rise Jacob back up. And that's why you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, especially so-called Negroes, be like, how do the Lord love us, man? Look at the condition that our people are in. Well, guess what? The Lord is going to raise his people back up. But for the most part, in these latter days, he's going to raise the remnant of his people that wait for him. Because a lot of people not waiting for the Lord. But just to continue on, verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. That's the whole point that I wanted to make, that they are called the border of wickedness. So when we talking about people that have been created to do wickedness, this is that race of people. And we talking about the people that have been created to do righteousness, to uphold righteousness. It is the Lord's people, the bloodline Israelites. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So it's not a light thing, or it's not just a coincidence that Arturo Lopez, or I forget his name, but we're going to go back to the actual news clip, that Arturo Lopez, that this Lopez fella killed the whole family, just being at the right place at the right time, or them being at the wrong place at the right time.
The video shows cops on the scene as Lopez fled into the woods. He was on the lam for 3 weeks before he ended up at the Collins family ranch. It's unclear if he was already inside when the grandfather and his 4 grandsons got there, or if he broke in while they were there. A burglary right next door may have been a warning sign that Lopez was still hiding out in the area. The grandfather's friend spoke to reporters.
I do feel that had Mark been made aware that he was within a day or two of being on his property, he would have never exposed those kids to that danger.
What could have saved the lives of this family?
I really believe if they had not misled us to believe that he could be somewhere else and to be more vigilant and prepared, now
There's a scripture that says that man's steps are ordered from the Lord. So, you know, whether they had a lying spirit to mislead them, to have them believe that everything was safe, that they were going into some type of safety or whatever the case be, man's goings are ordered from the Lord.
what if has happened, and this family has lost their lives.
After he murdered the boys and their grandfather, Lopez stole their pickup truck. He was killed in a shootout with police 250 miles away.
Evil did visit our doorsteps.
Authorities in Texas say they suspected the escaped prisoner might have been using unoccupied houses in the area for food and shelter.
Said evil did visit their doorstep. Let's get it. Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. Zephaniah 3, KJV. Verse 5, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. So that just kind of goes in on what we were reading in Malachi about the wicked. See, the Lord is going to overthrow their habitation once again. See, the Lord is going to overthrow their habitation once again. And this time is going to be with these ICBM missiles. And this nuclear destruction that's going to happen, which is going to consummate the coming day of the Lord, which is going to be by fire. But let's get Amos chapter 3 and 6, and I'm going to get ready to close it out. Amos 3. Because remember, they said evil came to their doorstep. Yeah, who brought it to their doorstep? This Amos chapter 3, verse 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it? Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Okay. There's another, I believe it's either in Isaiah 19 where it says, Jacob shall, or Judah shall be let me try to find it. I believe it's in Isaiah the 19th chapter, but it says, Judah shall be a terror, or is it Jacob shall be a terror? Judah a terror. This Isaiah 19 and 17, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it. Okay? And right now we're in this spiritual Egypt. According to Revelation 11th chapter, this city is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Okay? Now you got the seed of Jacob. They're going to terrorize this place. This is going to be the 2/3 terrorizing this place. And then you're going to have that 1/3, which are spiritual warriors. They're going to be sending curses upon this place. And then the Lord is going to be doing his marvelous works. But I didn't want to make this too long. So hopefully there was some edification in this video. So till the next time, shalom.